YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look what we've got here, the 15th anniversary Viper 70. Yes, it's gonna be amazing. The Viper was always good, but now it's better, and you wanna know why? Because we've got oleos and spring-loaded, very soft on the nose gear, a little bit firmer on the mains, still rock-hard tires, and big old flaps, which is one of the reasons why I really love the Viper as a beginner EDF plane. Yes, I put that in huge air quotes because it is the most overused statement you'll ever find. Don't forget, beginning EDF is different than beginning flying, so we don't want to misrepresent the facts. So we're going to take off without further ado and show you how amazing this is. Oh, full disclosure, we're running on 4000 6S 50C, which is bigger than the 3300 they recommend. And we're running on a AR630. So we have AS3X and safe. And we'll show you exactly how to set it up in the unbox build radio setup if you haven't seen it. So stay tuned. All right, guys, takeoff flap set. Here we go. 3-minute timer set. Oh, she's in the air already. Oh, so gorgeous. Wow, that thing's got some power. Listen. Oh yeah, baby. So guys, if you haven't flown this thing, whoa, yes, that's right, you can do that thing. Just let it get flying and there it is. AS3X locked in, not one click of trim. And yes, I didn't have to set everything to 150 throws. I did on only one, the flaps, so I can get this huge, wide. Look at that flight envelope, folks.
Goodness.
That is amazing. Okay, out of flaps. Still out of gear, and it's 70% throttle on that climb out, folks. Janking it up. Look at this. That thing has power to spare. Amazing. Gen 1, 4000. Camera crew is going to be working on this video because the sunlight is going to be on the edge. Here we go. Oh man, that is good stuff. We just, a little bit less stabilizer, just turned my crank knob on the top down about 8 to 10%. Okay, here we go, full speed back. Oh, that's so gorgeous, folks. Straight up. Look at those ops. Okay, coming down. So folks, if you've never experienced the Viper, it is amazing. And yes, I have AS3X on. Here's auto leveling, okay? Safe mode. And this is not the reflex, this is actually full-blown safe, full landing flaps. Let's slow it down and just show you how even a baby could fly this. Guys, I'm just kidding, not a baby. But look at that, it's flying itself, okay? 40% throttle, full landing flaps. I'm just gonna jank it around here. 1 minute. Look at that thing. Absolutely amazing, in safe. Okay, coming out of the landing flaps into the takeoff. Now we're in AS3X. Oh, it sounds glorious.
It does.
Okay, let's see if we can get a longer pass here. Okay. Here we go. About 10% throttle. 24 seconds left. It can't help but feel like it's hesitating a little bit. So I'm gonna do a no throttle pass here. And I'm just gonna bring it in for a touch and went. Take off flaps, gear, going into a base leg. We got a little bit of a crosswind here. We actually need to go all the way over here. And you're like, how do you tell what direction your plane's going, Brad? Very carefully. Watch what you're doing. See what happens when you move the sticks, and that's the best way to tell what direction you're going, folks. Oh man, I thought I could make that angle, I can't. But we'll just go around because we got all the power in the world. The crosswind is gonna be a bit of an issue, so we're actually gonna do something weird here. We're gonna go take off flaps, gear, and you're like, but you're going up. Yep, trading off airspeed for altitude, so I can slow it down. Full landing flaps, gear are down. 0% throttle, 10% throttle here just to get into the speed we want. And look at that thing. Look at that thing slowed down. It's like driving an RC car. A little bit of throttle, a little bit of throttle. Oh man, I was so close to gorgeous greasy landing on my first virgin landing. And by the way, we don't pull any punches here on Brian Phillips RC. We actually show maidens here. Not our 17th flight, although we do that too. We generally want you guys to genuinely know how good these planes are, not just what the marketing departments want. And the truth is, this is an amazing plane. It was amazing under the e-flite brand. It's amazing under the FMS brand. It's amazing under any brand that they do it. And here we go, guys. Here we go. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yeah. Got a little janky out of the flaps. Don't want to knock the flaps on the grass. So that was good. Now, what is this plane missing, camera crew?
Reverse thrust.
Reverse thrust. It'd be so much fun. Admittedly, we checked for it. It does not exist. And we also flew that thing for 1 minute 35 past our timer of 3. So that was 4.5 minutes of action-packed, super amazing fun. And we're gonna pause and we'll show you the voltage on the pack with the XBC. Okay, so we're gonna hook up the XBC battery checker. We already have a battery alarm attached and I didn't hear it chime once, but I could feel something happening. Okay, so we're at 3.8. Oh, you can see perfect. 3.79, 3.85, 3.75, 3.75. Yeah, that's pretty much perfect, folks. Great. That's exactly charging at that storage charge. Now, I felt like it flared perfect.
Before you unstrap that, you should note where your battery is.
Yeah, it's right here, guys. All the way back. We'll show you exactly how we got this thing to CG out perfectly. And yes, that's my ESC. And yes, you have to get right in there and press the special button.
The special button.
You have to press the special button.
You gotta know where it is to be able to find it.
That's, well, I mean, practice makes perseverance, right?
Right.
So, without further ado, let's actually swap batteries. I know it looks terrible. This one actually has Velcro. I hate Velcro on batteries, and that's one of the reasons why, as you can see. And so I'm gonna hand that to the camera crew. She's gonna trade me out. Why don't we do a Gen 2, because we know we're about 4.5 minutes. So I'll set 4 minutes, be safe.
Hey, how's everyone?
It's a little puffy, but we're gonna be fine. Camera crew, if you could take that.
Yep.
Let's show you exactly what it's like to load this plane. It's not a bad one, it's not a great one, it's somewhere in the middle. We also put a clear piece of plastic and literally used the wrapper from our receiver. And so if you do this exactly as we did in our unbox build radio setup, you can follow along and use all the materials. As usual on Brian Phillips RC, we wanna help get you guys in the air, so check the links, buy these things, support our channel. That's the best thing you can do to keep us in business. And also, of course, watching, liking, subscribing, all those good things are helpful too. But if you just can't buy this plane and you gotta buy another one, we understand. Everybody has different tastes. And so if you want to see one of our 1,700 plus other videos, go to brianphillipsrc.com and you can check out what we've got there. It might help you navigate to where you wanna be. Okay, we're just gonna let this thing engage. Dance 1, dance dos. Okay, here we go. So now this has to be laid flat, okay? And that's where that goes. Very simple, and you have plenty of room, and the magnet doesn't exist. This one is a clamp style or clip style. And look, we don't have a big opening here, so it actually fits. So if you guys get this plane and you wanna try to put a 5,000 in, good luck with that, because it's just a little bit too wide, especially in the 50C configuration. And that was one of our disappointments on this plane, is I really would have liked to be able to squeeze a 5,000 because it's such a popular size class in 6S. That being said, we're gonna actually change our timer right now. So 3 minutes currently, do rates in Expo, we're not gonna do that. Where are we going? We're going to timer. Let's go to 4. 4:30 is where we were, but it wasn't dead. It wasn't dead. We can do at least that. So everybody loves a good dead stick landing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reset. The sun is cooperating a little bit better and we'll be right back. All right guys, throttle cuts off, timer at 4:30. Takeoff flaps deployed. Here we go. Oh, that's so cool. Wow. I don't know if you guys saw that. Okay, full landing flaps here. I'm gonna slow it down like crazy. Look at this. Look at this, folks. Wow. Oh, yes. Amazing. Guys, the colors are beautiful. I was a little bit on the fence about them, but I love them.
I like it.
Up against this spring sky. 50% throttle there. Look at that pass, folks. Very good roll rate, nothing to need, nothing to want left. Love the sound. Listen to the sound. Going inside this time, you guys. So sweet. So guys, we appreciate you being with us. Special thanks to our patrons. If you want to become one, we have links right under the planes. Goodness gracious. I'm sorry, focus. Here we go. Guys, this AS3X has this thing locked in. It was an insanely windy day. So very happy with the way this thing is performing. I did hardly any takeoff flaps, folks. The takeoff flaps are dainty, but the landing flaps are huge. Watch the landing flaps. Look at that thing balloon. Even with the correction, we got a little teeny bit of balloon, tons of drag. Get into the throttle if you're gonna put those things down like barn doors. Look at that thing, 50% throttle, and look at it barely creep by, folks. Okay, takeoff flaps now into the hard throttle. Then we're gonna go down the runway just to show you how well this thing does. Out of the flaps and full throttle, spinning it. Oh yeah. Janking it down. Whoa, buddy, we did finally stall it. Holy cow, it was exciting. So folks, if you're a new pilot, this plane is not the worst choice, believe it or not, for a jet, but I gotta say, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh yeah, just get the F-16, it'll be easy. No, it's not so much. Get a Habu if you want an easy jet. This would be a great second or third EDF. And to be honest with you, it's not a hard to fly plane, and you can do cool things with it that you can't do with others like that. But remember, just get it flying again. What does get it flying need, camera crew?
Power.
No.
No?
Speed. Airspeed. Air over the surfaces. The combination therein. It's not just power. I mean, power saves lives, yeah. But all you got to do is get that thing moving in the right direction, and you'll be golden. So folks, if you like this thing and you want to see more of it, you should buy one. It's a good plane. I don't often say that, but I love the Viper. I've always loved the Viper. I love the 90. I love the 70. I love every variant we've had, but this one just fixes all the problems we had with it, which were basically crappy landing gear. They were just a music wire. They were fine. They got the job done. They were very light. But with CNC aluminum, you don't even notice the difference. You don't have any issues on weight. And to be honest, the wires were not as bad as I remember. By the way, the atmosphere is still definitely bumping around a lot. Guys, if you've never heard a plane scream, it's something else. Takeoff flaps to help my elevator out. Oh, that is so sweet.
You scared me.
So folks, if you haven't ever experienced the Viper, whether it's the 80, or excuse me, whether it's the 90 or the 70, or even something smaller, we've even done a 50. Have we done an 80 millimeter Viper? I don't know why I thought that. No, we've done the Bayhawk. Takeoff flaps. Okay, here we go. Relaxing. Bringing the nose up just a hair. Okay. I'm just like riding it in. You see those barn doors? That's why we slow down, folks. You don't need to do anything stupid. You just fly it. Keep that nose right where it is, and you'll be golden, folks. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And then you can bleed off that last little bit. Yes, I'm overshooting the runway, which is a little bit embarrassing, but the truth is, I'm okay with it. If you bring that in and you put it down in this spot and you can keep it on the mains, that's even better. It's a super fun thing to do. And with the battery set up the way we do, by the way, that 15, it looks like a 75, I must admit, but at the same time, you can see it from a distance. The yellow pops against the blue, which is ironically similar to our house color. I'm pretty sure they didn't ask our permission, but they did it. And we have gray too. I never even thought about that. I wonder if it was just a nice way.
They just did it for us.
They did it for us. But really, it's a 15-year anniversary of the Viper, and what a great plane. And we love working with FMS. So if you guys want to help reward them for making good stuff, and they do make good stuff, we had 2 major complaints on this plane, okay? Complaint number 1, I would have liked to see thrust reverse. Complaint number 2, I'd put all the linkages on. Now, some of you might say, you know, it's kind of nice because if they're broken and they don't work, you can find that out. Well, yeah, but I don't want to find that out. I just want to find out when I crash. Which is a little bit unusual, I realize, but that was the biggest annoyance. Number two, they folded the manual. But thrust reverse is really something I wanted. And you know what? You can add that for the price of an ESC. So it's not a huge issue. We like to fly them stock as much as we can because really most of you are gonna get the stock plane and love them. And then occasionally there's gonna be some people that like wanna replace every servo in ESC, and that's fine, whatever. That's what's so beautiful about this hobby is that when you put in the time and the effort and you've developed the expertise to fly, which is something that's not just given to you on a silver platter. No matter how easy Safe makes it, you still have to work for it. That's why it's so good for grown men to have these amazing toys. Is because you don't just get it and you know, it's like an Xbox and you just play with it, or it's a PS3 and you get bored. It's real. It's amazing. If you were really dumb, you could hurt yourself with it. You might even crash into a window. Kind of reminds you of childhood and baseballs. But anyway, just saying, when you're a real dude with real problems in a real world, it's really nice to come home to something real that's not just a total fake thing. This is a real, really small plane that's really doing like 100 miles an hour right in front of you, and it's exhilarating. And when you go from not knowing how to fly to knowing how to fly, you have a different level of appreciation for it. And I'm telling you right now, it's something you can't buy, which is super cool, and you'll get it when you get it. So you should get it so you can get it. But don't get this one first because you'll just be pissing in the wind, and then don't cry to me when you crash it. Because here's the thing, guys, I've had so many people that have done that with good quality planes. They crash them, they become what we call one and dones. We try to stop that on Brian Phillips RC by giving you good quality content that helps you get from zero to hero as quick as possible. Doesn't mean easy, just quick, okay? Quick, not easy, right? Because I don't care if you're a multi-billionaire, if you have $10 billion and you're an expert on everything, you still don't know how to fly until you learn to fly. And yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes mistakes. And yes, it takes swallowing your pride a lot. And especially if you do it on YouTube. But here's the thing, guys, that plane is gonna give you a great experience when you're ready. So maybe plane number 2 or 3, it's not out of the question, seriously. But I still think bang for the buck. You want a good tractor-driven prop plane. That means it pulls it in the air. Get the basics down, learn to fly, do it well, and then get yourself an even easier EDF. And then make this number 2, and you will have an amazing number 2. So anyway, if you're into having amazing number 2s, this plane is for you. And also, I must say, I love flying it. We did 2 flights. I want to go up in the air. The sun is giving me the big middle finger right now, as you can see. It's the most beautiful middle finger I've ever seen. But the thing is, what we're going to do is we're probably going to fly again just because I can. But you know what? This one's just going to be for me, and it's going to be amazing. And you guys want one for you. And so if you've got the skills to fly, and this thing is not hard to fly. If you know how to fly, you can fly this thing. One thing to keep in mind, it takes time to spool power on an EDF. Most EDFs do not land like this plane. This plane lands easy because you don't have to depend on a flare. You can if you want, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with flaring. You will shorten your landing distance drastically. Also, when you have a severe crosswind and you have a tree at the end of your runway like we do, it changes things. So anybody, I'm just gonna challenge you. If you think you can do it better, seriously, try sometime. We do occasionally have people out to fly our territory, and it's super fun. And we had somebody not too long ago that came out and he said, wow, it's a lot tighter than I thought. Which are words that I love to hear. Because when you're a skilled pilot and you fly tight territories, it's different. It's not like harder, it's just very different. You fly different. That's why I've been all about flaps for so long, because I was flying in the neighborhood and then they made it against the rules. And then I was like, well, I guess we can't do this. And yes, that's the way it went. For those of you that don't know, all you naysayers, it was perfectly fine. It was huge at the beginning. Then it became against the rules. And then it's like, okay, we'll go buy, a bunch of land and we're gonna make it amazing. And that's what we did. And here we are, flash forward 9 years. Almost a decade of doing this stuff, guys. We love it. We've had, how many more kids have we had since we started this?
Well, technically only one.
Technically
it seems
only one,
like
but it seems
a
like
lot.
10. But we love doing this stuff, and we love that you guys are here with us.
I have a question. I know you want to fly again. How did you feel about the CG and your battery placement?
Oh, the CG was gorgeous. I had no problems with where it was. I feel like a lighter pack would probably be a little lighter on its feet when you're doing tricks and things like that. But really, the aerobatics for me in a jet, I don't do a lot of like weird stuff with jets. I might go up there and flip it around once in a while, but really I just love the high-speed passes. Now you may have noticed a little bit of oscillation on the yaw axis. I could probably kick down my yaw a little bit in AS3X and it'd been fine. But the truth is all I gotta do is just turn this knob down a little bit and we're golden, okay? So I'm just a little bit off of 50%. That's fine in my book. Honestly, if it was rock solid and dead still right now, you can see the flag is still not quite all the way down. But you won't believe me, but a half an hour ago, 40 minutes ago, it was straight out and pulling that pole like a fishing rod.
Yep.
Okay?
That was terrible.
So when we get days like that and the atmosphere calms, especially at the end of the evening in the Midwest in spring, we tend to get a nice calming effect at the end of a windy couple of days. That's where we are now. It's gonna kick back up tomorrow. So we gotta fly this thing and enjoy it while we can. So for those of you who don't know what this is all about, we're here for you. We're gonna help you get from zero to hero as quick as you can. For those of you that are coming back to the hobby, we wanna help get you up to speed as quick as possible so you can learn to use your most expensive or one of the most expensive tools you have, which would be your transmitter, how to set them up, do the programming, mixing, things like that, strange stuff that we run into, and how to command and control these amazing airplanes, not the cats.
Not the cats.
You cannot control the cats with your radio no matter how hard you try. I've tried, doesn't work, just saying. But if you guys are curious about how we set this up and you want to know the exact step-by-step, we have the Unbox Build Radio setup that published about a minute before this Maiden flight series. And so hopefully we'll answer all your questions that you have in that Unbox Build Radio setup. And I must caution you, if you're new to the hobby, take your time, spend the time to watch a few of those videos. You don't have to watch every one of them. We literally have thousands of them. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. If you just watch the parts you need, we get it. That's what we're here. We're here as a tool for the hobby community. Is that why you call me a tool all the time?
You said it.
That's what we do, and we love doing it, and we're gonna keep doing it as long as we can. No matter how many other people do it, we're gonna do it because we love it. And these things are, no joke, amazing. And we think you guys will like one, so definitely check it out in the links of the video description below. If you like another plane a little bit better, maybe you like the e-flite variant, they're both made by FMS. Just to be totally clear, the difference is the e-flite one's gonna have avian technology built in, at least on the big one. So I'm not 100% sure you can do thrust reverse on the original one yet, so you may have a leg up here because the landing gear are better. Also, the livery is different on this, but otherwise it is, I think, the same. There might be a little bit of a kick up on the power of the battery, and I apologize, I don't remember the original size, but if you want to go back and see our videos and do compare apples and oranges, I say apples and oranges because this one's an FMS offering and that one's an e-flite offering. Of course, we work with both companies, both reputable, both great companies, and yes, FMS makes it for e-flite. So if you guys don't know where stuff comes from, it comes from China, and they're made in the same factory, they just do a different label on it. That's the way that works in the real world. I work in industrial applications all the time. That's what I do. I work in industrial scales. You guys may not know that, but I go into factories and I see them change the labels and then they start the machine again. This is what happens in the real world, okay? You may not be privy to it yet, but you'll get there eventually. And that's what we want to do here on Brian Phillips RCs, get you up to speed. So we're here for that. Any other thoughts, camera crew?
I think you covered it.
Good job,
Very
FMS. Cool. Amazing. I forgive you for making me put the linkages on. It was annoying that we had to do it, but it honestly only took us probably about 7 or 8 minutes.
Okay, we survived.
And it wasn't, and to be honest, if you have to make any adjustments to your ailerons or flaps, then you're gonna have to do it anyway. So it is nice.
Build was really easy.
The build was easy. It was actually easier than the twin timber that we just recently did that slipped out of my hands 4,000 times.
We mostly waffled about putting the battery in.
Yeah. Our biggest waffle on this was actually picking where to put the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And it was challenging because there is a lot of cable and we'll show you how to deal with it. It is a problem on this plane and others like it. F-1670, Viper 70 from e-flite, both had the same problem. Lots of crap right here. That's where the battery needs to go. So check out what we did. We'll answer your questions hopefully. And don't forget to check what we recommend for the plane, battery, transmitter, and receiver in this case, because we did install the receiver. There was no reflex in this. I don't know if they're not offering it with a reflex, or our early samples that were sent out didn't have the reflex, but it didn't say reflex anywhere on the box. Now I'm gonna tell you something. If you're used to flying a stabilized plane, get a stabilized receiver. You will enjoy the experience so much more. The AR630 is fine. If you wanna spend a lot more money, get the 637T, but I don't think you need it. I would suggest you get the 630 because the antennaless install is really nice in this application. You go to the 637T, you're gonna have a whole nother battery lead going all the way back. It's gonna be a pain. If you insist on having battery voltage, which generally on EDFs, you're gonna set it and forget it. You're never gonna think about it again. So it really only helps you on the first few flights when you're maidening it. My suggestion is go ahead and spend the premium on the ESC instead of on the receiver. You'll get the 630, the cheapest offering. It's $5 less than the 631. Then you go ahead and get yourself the Avian Lite, okay? That's gonna pair up for you. You'll get the serial communication between the two, so you will get pack voltage then, even if you use a dumb pack, okay? Now, if you use a smart pack, you should actually get your voltage of each of the cells, which is really helpful. And that's really where you get the good payback. But on a dumb pack, without a smart technology, you're gonna tend to find that you're gonna run out of battery quicker because it's not gonna self-balance as you're flying. You relax the throttle, it self-balances, you get enough juice to get back to the ground. That's how that's how smart saves lives. And it really does make a difference, folks. That little balancing circuit that's in here, and yes, I did stick that between the leads so that I could have my voltage alarm plugged in because it's that tight. It's like right there. And I'm talking pushed hard into it. So.
The end pins on the 632.
Yeah, the end pins would have been, I think you could have done it, but the 631 were better because 631 has end pins. The 631 has top pins. So you would have had wires kind of coming down. I don't think it would have worked as good. The 630, you can stick them back into that EDF duct and get it to work well. So anyway, lots of answers. Sure, you guys have some questions. We're gonna answer them in the Unbox Build Radio setup. If you guys wanna help support us, buy the stuff from the links. We want you to love on these planes just like we get to. That's the best way you can pay homage to anything that we've ever helped you with, is to just buy these and love the hobby. Get the ecosystem, inject the money into the ecosystem of RC, okay? That's how we make this thing win. Grow the hobby, get your buddies out with you. That's how we win, okay? Do that and we'll succeed. If you can't do that for whatever reason, or your wife has threatened to divorce you and you can't tell her there's snakes in the basement anymore, she's already caught on to that, then just, Patreon and PayPal. It's down below. Thanks for watching, guys. So much more from Brian Phillips RC. All right, guys, I forgot to mention something. We rolled off the driveway twice. Admittedly, I would have loved to just draw it in here and just have a beautiful flare, but we're using 4,000 milliamp packs. If you did a 3300, you could probably flare it all the way down the runway. Look how good this is. No damage, and no damage. I am trying to break them for you. They're not broken. That's what's good about this plane. That's a huge improvement over the original e-flite offering in this size class. Let's be honest. It's a big, huge improvement. So just like the big boy, you've got these spring-loaded oleos on all three landing gears. And beautiful, I might add, retracts. Absolutely gorgeous and work like a charm. So beautiful, good ground handling. And also, if you overshoot your runway, you don't have to worry about replacing all the landing gear, which is something that we had more problems with on my original e-flite, and we've had two of those, right? So amazing plane, guys. Sorry I forgot to mention that. We just wanted to bring that up because I went out and grabbed it from the grass and I'm like, you know what? We got to say something about this. So FMS, really good job. Happy 15th anniversary. Thanks for working with us, even though we point out all the mistakes you made. We love these planes and you're doing a great job. By the way, you also forgot some LEDs. They're supposed to go right here. There's LEDs there and there. And then maybe like a forward-facing anti-crash beacon. I'm just saying, I don't know if maybe you just forgot to stick those on there. Thanks for watching, guys. We love you, FMS.